Hopefully you can see that, how much gunk is on the filter. This is exactly why the Haldex needs servicing. So if you make poor financial decisions like me and decide to own an Audi or a VW, and you picked for it to be a Quattro 4-wheel drive version, then you've got a Haldex on your car. So that's what we're looking at in today's video, is servicing the Haldex. Now I believe this is the Gen 5 Haldex on the Mk3 Audi TT. We're going to be servicing it, and this is my first time having a go at servicing this. And if I can do it, you can definitely do it. So save yourself some money and let's see if we can get this done. So in order to get to where the Haldex system is, it's at the rear of the car, but the car needs to be jacked up on all 4 corners. That way the car's level and I've got enough room to get underneath. Now, if I do this a quick push test, it's not even budging an inch. Therefore, it's definitely safe for me to go under and start getting to this Haldex. Now, the first thing I want to do is remove the fill plug, make sure it can actually be undone. That way I know I'm definitely going to be able to refill the oil once I've drained it. So I'm going to get under the car now. I'll try and put some lights under there because it's very dark, and I'll show you all the parts that we're going to be looking at today. It's basically just an oil change as well as cleaning the filter basket that's on the pump, and also some O-rings, but I'll show all of that as we go through the video. The Haldex system is actually located at the rear of the car, which is where we are now. What I've got is a light so I can make it easier for you guys to see. I've also got lots of different sized Allen keys. I'm going to figure out which one it is for the fill plug. Scooching our way under. Underneath the car, there's my custom exhaust system, but this is the Haldex system, this kind of whole area under here. This is the pump, which will be taken off to change the, well, not change, but clean the filter basket and also change the O-rings. There's 2 in there, which we will change. Over here, we have the drain plug. And then over here, you can see where that bit of green paint's been put on it, that is the fill plug. So we're going to try and take the fill plug off first. I will need an oil catch pan beneath me because some oil probably will come out of here. But yeah, we'll check we can actually get the fill plug off first. That's the most important. So you can see the Allen key in here. I'll put it up on screen now what exact size this is. I've already cracked it loose, but as long as I've got the oil catch pan under here. Where was I? Under here, with my fingers, on the drain plug, which was somewhere like, get so much dust in my eyes.
I swear this dust made a literal beeline straight for my eyeballs.
But why is it so crusty under here? Now I'm hoping a bit of oil comes out of here. It's not got too low. Oh. Well, not a single bit of oil came out there, so it's definitely probably low on oil.
So with the fill plug now out, that means we can definitely fill it up later on. What we can now focus our attention on is the drain plug. Now this is an 8mm hex. Obviously you can use a socket or an Allen key to get it off. However, having a socket means that we can actually torque it to the correct settings later on.
God, ow. Just smashed my knuckles. Thankfully into plastic, not metal. But yeah, you can see I could do that just with the Allen key, because I think it's only meant to be 30 Newton meters and it's torqued up. So the Allen key was easier to reach in here because it's just a bit shorter. Now, fingers crossed, some oil comes out of here. I mean, there's oil on the thread. There we go. So it doesn't shoot out, it just kind of dribbles out. Right, I'm gonna let that drain until it's just dripping, and then we'll remove the pump next. Okay, so I'm actually trying to get the pump housing out, and the bolts, one of the bolts has been an absolute pain because it's at the top and it's hard to get to. I think where the previous person's done it, they've tightened it up really hard and mashed the threads. So for me, it's been a right pain. What I had to do is make sure I could get the right kind of angle into it. That's by using this kind of like extension on an extension on my little ratchet to make sure it's reached all the way in there. It's a T30 for the bigger 2 bolts. Yeah, so this is one of the bolts. You can see it's a T30. That's one of the big bolts. That one's from the bottom. I'll show you where that comes from actually. So as you can see, it's kind of stopped. It's all stopped dripping now. So this one was in here. This one came out super easy. And the one at the top there just was really difficult for me to crack. But I did eventually get it. You can now see it's now only in finger tight. I can do this the rest of the way. I had to use a bit of WD-40 as well to help get it loose. But thankfully, I've got new bolts, thankfully. And this one can just go in the bin because I think it's been mashed up. There you go, so let's have a look at that. Can you see how all the teeth in there have been so mashed up? Now that wasn't from me, that's just, I think, from the previous person installing it. So thankfully we have new bolts for this.
So as you can see here in the video, I actually took all 4 bolts out, the 2 bigger ones and the 2 small ones. Word of advice, do not take the small bolts out. You don't need to, just the big ones. It saves a lot of hassle. With the 2 big bolts removed, I can then remove the housing and get to the basket that needs cleaning, which I'll show now.
Okay. So I think in reality, I only needed to remove the big bolts, but I removed the small ones anyway because it was attached to a cable. Now this is it pulled out, and it is looking pretty bad on the filter there. It looks really gunked up. Filter here, but this filter needs to come off, and we're going to change these two O-rings as well and give everything a clean up, because I can see there's a load of gunk inside.
With the pump removed from the car, I chose to just leave it dangling by that orange cable, as it would have been a lot more faff to try and remove the cable.
Do you know what? I'm just going to leave it dangling like this, and I'll just remove the filter, clean the filter, and then put it back. Hopefully you can see that, how much gunk is on the filter. This is exactly why the Haldex needs servicing, because it gets all this gunk caught in the filters. So what I'm going to do is try and wipe off the most of it, and then the rest of it's going to get cleaned off with brake cleaner. So this is kind of as clean as I could get it. There is some bits like still like caught in the corners of like here, but honestly that is a lot better than it was. The main thing though, to stop this then just getting instantly clogged back up again, where it sits in here, there's a load of gunk sat just at the bottom of here. I'm going to clear all that out, get some brake cleaner, wipe it all out, and then this will be good to put the filter back on. And once we've put the new O-rings on, I'll show those in a second.
Using a cloth and some brake cleaner, I got the inside bit there all cleaned out. You can see it's nice and shiny in there. That means we can now do the O-rings and then get the pump back attached to the car.
Okay, quick update. I managed to get two little screws back in. Definitely advise you don't take those out, because that added so much more pain. It's just these two big bolts, bigger bolts that come out. I should have really guessed that from the fact that they only come with two big bolts in the replacement kit. So I'm just going to take the time quickly to show you what comes in the kit. I think that's the drain plug, the fill plug, and the two long bolts you need as well. So they give you brand new ones for all of that. They give you the oil to change it. They even give you a syringe, which you'll need for filling it up with. And they also give you some new O-rings, which they use little staples, which is a really good idea to keep the two in size, because they look the same size, but that one is actually slightly larger, that one's slightly smaller, and it shows you where they go. So the larger one goes further back, and that one's nearer where the filter bit is that we took off as well. So we're going to take the large O-ring off first, and then the smaller one, and then we can put the new ones on. So to do that, to get the old O-rings off, what I'm going to use to make my life a little bit easier, so we're just going to use a little pick to help get the rings off, basically. So I will come back once I've taken these O-rings off and put the new ones on, because currently my camera is trying to fall off my head, so it's easier if I just take those O-rings off and put the new ones on. It's not that bad, especially if you've got a pick, so I'll do that and come back. These are the old O-rings now off the car. I think you change them just because rubber can deteriorate, and it just ensures that you have a constantly good seal. What we're replacing now is these old bolts with some nice new ones. These hold the actual Haldex pump onto the car, basically, and to do that we've got a T30 which will screw them back on tight, and I've also got a torque wrench. This is set from 0 to 25 or something like that. The torque that you need for these bolts to go back on is 9.5 Newton meters to get that back on.
I think it's always advisable with stuff like this not just to tighten down one side then do the other, but actually to do a little bit of each. That way you're going to make sure it definitely has a good seal and you're not going to be leaking oil everywhere.
That's clicking now.
Always good to give things a little clean with brake cleaner after you've done fitting something new. That way you can tell if new oil is leaking out.
That's the pump cleaned and reinstalled. You need to put the new fill plug in now, which goes in here. Sorry, the new drain plug is in. We can then start filling it from the fill hole. Now, the torque setting for the drain plug is 30 Newton meters. So this is the syringe they give you with the little tube on it. Pushing that on. Hopefully you can see this. I've got the syringe up in there, and then I'm just going to literally push. That is going to take all of this. No issues. Let's do this another good 8 times basically. We're going to keep doing it until it starts to slowly pour out, I think is the plan. Okay, I put a bit too much in, which is why it's now pouring out. Okay, so we're literally almost there. I've put the new fill plug in, not properly tightened it yet. There is a torque spec for that. I'll find out in a second. But it's in tight enough that it shouldn't leak out of it. What I now need to do to make sure that the oil is circulated through the system is actually turn the car on, put it in drive, so the wheels, all 4 wheels start turning forwards. Then what I'm going to do is put it in reverse and run it backwards. Basically, I'll run it in forwards for 3 minutes, backwards for 3 minutes till it gets up to temperature and circulates the whole system. I'll then take the fill plug back off, and it shouldn't drip out anything. I'll then fill it up till it drips out again. Basically, it's making sure that the whole thing's full. So let's get the car turned on. Starting up, it's going to be probably quite loud. So I can go underneath and check it. I was just literally huffing fumes just then. That's all I did, was huff fumes. It's not leaking. Yeah, no leaks, so good. What we can now do is put it into drive. So when I put it into drive, get in the car. So if I slowly let off the brake, are they starting to turn yet? Are they both turning now? Okay, good. So slowly let off the brake, both wheels should now be turning. I should be able to get out the car. So they are now running forwards. Basically, it's running it through the whole system. It's going to be very loud, but going underneath, no leaks. But you can see that spinning there. I'm able to do a voice over here. That's spinning, and that's basically what we want. We need the axles to spin so that it can run through the system.
Stabilisation control fault.
Oh yeah, tyre pressure fault. Yeah, it's going to say all those things because it's not happy because it's up in the air.
Oh, even the headlights going.
Headlight range can fault. Great. Everything's not happy. You need to leave it running for quite a few minutes to make sure it's like fully circulated.
You should put the bum that side.
Yeah, it's a good way to get carbon monoxide poisoning, isn't it? Just sat in like quite an enclosed area with a lot of fumes. What I should do is if I slowly put the brake on. Oh, let's put my handbrake on. Thanks. So then I should start going in reverse. Supposedly I'm going 7 miles an hour right now. Magic, yeah. Sat still but going 7 miles an hour. So the two temperatures I'm focused on are obviously this here, which I'm pretty sure is the coolant temperature down here, and it's now actually up to temperature. The oil temperature, now that's the engine oil temperature, not anything to do with the Haldex. That's here, which is still, it takes a while for this to actually go up. Normally you actually have to be driving for this to see this go up. But this coolant temperature's gone up quite a bit. So what I'll do is I'll run it in reverse a bit more, probably maybe go for a little bit more forwards just to be double certain, and then we can fill up the rest of the Haldex oil. That way I know it's definitely got the right amount. Cut. Right, I know that was a very abrupt end to that video. The only thing that I didn't show in that video was driving the car to make sure that everything was working perfectly fine, and I've actually been driving the car a few weeks now. It's all good. The reason I didn't show it is because I actually moved on to servicing a different part of the car, and that was the DSG gearbox. Now if you want to watch a video to see if I could do the DSG gearbox service before the sun sets, then check the video out here. But that is it for this video. If you do enjoy this kind of content, or you want to see more stupid mods and other kind of videos, then make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the future content coming on this channel. But that is it for this one. I will catch you in the next one.